Hi folks, it is December 3rd. Whereas Miss Katie would say it's December fee. Because Miss Katie says fee now instead of 3 because she's allowed to because she's Miss Katie. So, what game do we have today, Toots?
Russian campaign.
And what version do we have?
5.
5. And so that means how many versions are there?
Is this a trick question?
No, this is not like what's heavier, 20 pounds of concrete or 20 pounds of feather. If this is the 5th edition, that means...
This is the 5th edition. It means there were 4 prior.
That's a good girl. Actually, we had to explain to Miss Katie how that came about, and personally, we don't recall the 3rd edition at all. Somebody obviously did it. I'm not going to bother to go over and look at it, and we got a large meatloaf on the table right now, so Ollie.
His name is Ollie.
His name is Ollie, but he's a large meatloaf. So, this game we actually bought, and we were lucky that we bought it for $60 because right now it runs for like $180, and we bought it new. Now, the other one that Miss Katie is going to pick up, there's a little bit of a story behind it. So put that box down, miss. And this one that she's going to be picking up,
The big one?
the big one, is from L2 Design. And we got that in 2007. And the story behind that is what, Miss Katie?
I bought it for you when you came back from Afghanistan or the Horn of Africa or one of those godless places.
Yeah, one of those fun holes. So,
A real vacation spot.
we got this one. This was one Miss Katie had got for me from L2 Designs. It was a very nicely done game. So, and it's a bigger flat box.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, despite all of our moves, it has held up well, and it's an attractive box. The one that Miss Katie held up first, the 5th edition, has many of the same pictures that were on the original Avalon Hill game, which was the 2nd edition. So, but there you have it, folks. We'll be starting to talk about it in a minute, and let's see if she remembers to do what she's supposed to do when I get ready to stop talking.
Bye-bye.
Oh, she did much better this week, folks. Thank you, sweetheart. Hi, folks. How are you all tonight? We had a little bit of a glitch here at the moment. Imagine that, because how much do we get paid to do this?
Nothing.
Nothing. We get paid plenty of nothing. And no, I meant to change my shirt. This is a dirty shirt from doing stuff today, so that's my fault, folks. Anyway, we'll have game stories. Our game story for the Russian campaign. We were working at a camp for the blind in the summer of 1977. It was my day off, and we had called the game store in the Valley, in the King of Prussia shopping center, which was then America's biggest shopping center, and they had the Russian campaign game in. And I'm trying to think, was it $6, $10, or $12? A lot of money. So we drove from near Penn State down the Turnpike. Once we got to Harrisburg, we got on the Turnpike and drove to Valley Forge to buy this game. It is a game we played a lot. It may be the best. In fact, it was a trendsetter and the best of its kind for setting up a small game, a smaller size game for the East Front, because before all the epic games were either Drag Knock Austin or War in the East. So this was really something. Sorry to say, we can't find our original anymore. We have no idea where it went. Not that we've moved often, but the game it's elsewhere. That said, it's almost as sad, well that's sadder, but almost as sad is that we didn't get this game sent to us to review, we had to buy it. Oh, it cost us a whole $60. On eBay now, you're finding it between $170 to $223. That's a lot of money. And guess who's shown up on the thing? Gray Kitty. I don't know if you got to see him.
His tail's on the picture.
His tail's on the board, and we're gonna need
There
to
he
get,
is.
yeah, we're gonna need to get Gray Kitty off before he does something. So
I'll let you
yeah.
move him.
All right, I think we got Gray Kitty off before he hits the map board.
There he goes.
And we will close the door, folks. Sorry for walking away. It's never dull in the house of cats. So, what we're going to do is we're going to compare this version to version 4, i.e. the L2 design one. And that's the big flat box that Miss Katie was holding earlier. Again, we come back to what we were talking about before Gray Kitty decided to run around the steppes of Russia, that the Russian campaign was probably the most accessible East Front game, I think, ever at the strategic level. Like, particularly SPI's War in the East and War in Europe, the Russian campaign has spawned a lot of optional rules and a lot of thinking. And one of probably the impetus behind 5 is all of that was collected up. Now, 4 had a lot of it, but not as much as 5 did. 5 also includes the political parts, which 4 did not do just because it wasn't there. Now, why a new version? Well, Miss Katie asked me that, and that's what I explained to her, was this collected up everything. And you got to give John Kranz and his crew their kudos and their due for doing such yeoman work on assembling everything, because even with the advent of the internet and all, it can be hard to get everything together. So, got to do that. You got to give them that. But as I asked Miss Katie with certain things, because Miss Katie likes jewelry, and say, okay, you want a new 4-carat ring. How does this one look different than the other one? I don't see the difference. If I don't see the difference, if there's not a brilliance, if it's not a design, but it's another, say, square 4-carat, I'm a little iffy on it. And that's what you have, what I would say about this one. Is this new one worth the money? Always a money question here. I always think about that. My answer, it's one word. Yup. Yup. And why did I know it was yup? Because as soon as I pulled this out and started looking at it, I got excited and wanted to play it again. Boom. As John Madden would say, as my brother used to do when he was alive. Boom. So, it's worth it. Now, I'm going to jump ahead here because you see, this is the map. It's a green, obviously, and it reminds me almost of the map of Proud Monster, I think, the one that Ty Bomba did. Do you like the green? You know, it's a green map. Now, let's show you the L2 design one. And I'm going to... Bear with me here for a minute, folks. This is the L2 design. Now, this is only half the map for the Russian campaign. The L2 design one looks like this. And you say, so it's not as big. This one is bigger than the Russian campaign one. Well, actually, no. Because the new one is 2 maps. So if you look at it in terms of how it goes, actually like this, well, you can see when I put them together, this one map sheet isn't the same. So the GMT one, much to my surprise, is a bigger map. However, why GMT chose not to make this a mounted map board is simply beyond all ken and all understanding for me. Because everybody knows I love mounted map boards. Miss Katie knows I love mounted map boards. How could GMT not know that their buying public was going to love a mounted map board? Now, maybe they did it on the Kickstarter. Maybe. I'm not for certain on that. I'm not going to stand here and blow smoke up your tiny little backside. But this should have been a mounted map board. Okay. Done complaining about that for the moment. Now let's talk about the rules. The rule books, and we're going to step back here for a moment. The rule books are much the same, except that, of course, this one by GMT is much bigger. It is much bigger. It came out to be, 19 pages for the L2 one and 29 pages for the GMT one. And there are some things to note here. Much more color in the GMT rulebook. And I'll show you some examples. Like here, section 4, use of the weather chart. And Miss Katie's going to let me know by visual hand signals. You can see the weather chart. It's there. All right. Let's go to the 1x L2 design. Same area of the rule book. Miss Katie, do you see a weather chart? No, there's no weather chart. Oh, well, that's interesting. Now it is in the game. It is in the game. It's on the player A cards for the L2. Here we have colorful play examples. Here no colorful play examples. Okay, got that. So, there are lots and lots of movement examples and rail examples and combat examples scattered throughout and good use of color in the GMT rules. There are none in the L2 rules. Older game, older rules, didn't have it back so much in 2007, but it is, to me, it is a significant difference because I like to have an example because there's the 5 stages of learning or the 5 types of learners. I fit a couple of those, but I like, I'm an Army guy, of course. I like being able to put my hands on or to visualize it. Miss Katie is very much a visual girl and would do better with rule books that give you examples rather than just words. So that's a really, really good thing. We talked about the map here. What's also interesting on this map, down towards low, is, and this is one of the optionals, you see there are these mountains down here. Well, they're kind of mountains and kind of not, and there are pieces of terrain actually that are higher here than there, but so what did they do? They included this tiny little map piece that goes right here, and look what it does. It gets rid of the mountains, doesn't it? So for an optional rule, depending upon how you feel about the terrain, they added that. Because when I first looked at the things, I went, okay, I thought there were always hills down there. Okay, so they screwed the map up? I don't think so. And then I looked and said, oh yeah, I recall this historical debate about this. So, did you like one map better than the other, Miss Katie?
No.
No, and this was not a pre-asked question. I put her on the litter box to see what she would do. I think a case can be made for either map. This one is harder card type stock. Harder stock. This is,
Paper?
yeah, more of a paper. So I will note, I like the turn record chart at the top here. I think it's more colorful. It makes it easier to see versus the one on this game map, which is this. So here you get to differentiate weather by color. I also like here that everything is at the top. So if I'm playing solo, which is invariably how I always play unless I have Daphne in here with me, Petunia, or Gray Kitty, and sometimes Fuzz, all the boxes are here at the top. Easier to deal with. Rather than some boxes on this side of the map, some boxes on that side of the map. Just simply easier. I do like the turn record track better on this one. The counters. Now let me pull out my other goodies. The counters here, there's 3 sheets of counters. They are exactly the same size as the counters in number 4. What I don't like about these counters, these are guards counters. These are guards armor counters. These are guard counters. Why are one brown and one red? Because this brown looks like this brown, doesn't it? These aren't guards, so how do you tell them apart? Well, because it says guards at the side. Well, why aren't they color-coded red? To me, that's an oversight. GMT should not have done that. Odds counters. Normally, I don't like these. They were recently in one of RBM's games, the new Cursed one I reviewed and done an unboxing of. I like them here. Maybe I'm getting soft in my old age. I think, particularly for a game this scale, they might work. German units, and of course, you see now they made the SS Black. So why didn't you make, we're going to go back and complain about it again, aren't we? Why not have made the Guards Armor red also? I also noticed in the battle group counters in edition 4, these were more clearly broken out in the edition 4 one. They had a white stripe and yellow with them. Here they just look like other units. So don't know why they didn't follow that. I thought that would have made it easier. I thought it would have worked better. They didn't do that. Player aids cards. I'm going to compare both games for you. I think, well, I have trouble deciding which one I like better, but there are some things that GMT did better here than. Here's the GMT standard game Axis Order of Battle. Okay, that looks much like the L2 version, except then there is a backside. The backside is for the optional game. Okay, like that. Now we go again. We look here. Soviet at start, or Russian Order of Battle. The L2 looks like this. Okay, like that one. But like the German Order of Battle card for version 5, you got the optional. Okay. Weather chart for this one. Okay. And if you look, they're much the same. Except what's nice here is you have a die roll modifier track for the weather. Gotta like that. Now, but this has the movement allowance on it. So where's my movement allowance table? My movement allowance table is on here, and so is my combat's result table. Here's my terrain effects chart on this one. Well, where's my terrain effects chart for the other one? Oh no, we've lost it. Oh, but wait, it's right here. Not only is it right here, yeah, you gotta turn around. Not only is it right here, but you notice we also now have an air availability chart that's not on the other one. So what I really like though here, this I really like. These cards for both for Fall Blue, for Citadel, and Bagration, the order of battle cards for both sides. In the L2 design, it was set up numerically as a scenario in the rulebook. Here, you get these nice broken out cards. The one thing I wish they would have repeated from L2 was this great scenario setup map that I bring it in. This is the L2 one. I will be posting this on Board Game Geek then under both this and on the L2 one. So when you get it, give me a thumb. Yay, me, give me a thumb. Miss Katie just gave me a thumb. She didn't give me that look either, so I must be doing okay. The verdict on the player aid cards, both sides are winners. Both sides are winners. A nudge goes to GMT because of the scenario cards. Go. Now, what's the overall verdict here? Well, GMT is a much superior rule book. The color and the examples, that's a walk away. No question. The maps, toss up to me. They're simply a toss up. Although, looking here, I think I'd like to have had East Prussia, Poland, Hungary, and Russia highlighted differently or something. They're kind of just
they're hard to read.
They're hard to read. Yeah, I just now noticed that. I think they're a little hard to read and could be different. The cities here, you like the cities? It's either that or kind of the black blob, like on the L2 one. You know, at this level, does it matter? I don't think it really matters. The game rule book, again, is also superior because it includes all the optional rules. Big difference. Big difference. The great scenario breakout cards, again, I keep coming back to that. That's just, man, that's really awesome. I really like doing that. I wish they would have done that in the Dark Valley, because the Dark Valley scenario stuff is hard to figure out the way the numbers are. This is much better. Much, much better. Now, if this had been a mounted map board, it might be under my pillow tonight because I'd be so pleased with it. Instead, I mean, it's serviceable, but we'd expect a mounted map board from GMT because that's often their standard. And why they don't have a mounted map board here again is unknown to me. So, player aids cards, too close, toss up. Now let's talk about books for just a moment. Real quick thing on books, and we're going to be spanning the thing here. And of course I will post these with the video, and then when I do my review of this, they will be there. Satanos, the Wehrmacht Retreats, the 1943, we talk about it all the time. It lives downstairs with me, and it's probably on my nightstand at least once a month. It's that good. Frank Ellis's Barbarossa 1941. Not given much attention by a lot of people because it came from Leavenworth and from the University of Kansas. Didn't get picked up by a big publisher. It's a shame because Ellis's book is great. And the section in there about Pavlov being interviewed by the NKVD for the front, which front would they call that? The Western Military District Front disaster is just epic to read. Britt Buttar, whose books I generally like, although sometimes his writing style drives me up the wall, like this morning when I came out and I had a cat that had thrown up 4 times. So that kind of, you just go, really? You know, could we? And the maps in his books were often bad, but Battleground Prussia is very good. And of course, we're looking at that for the World at War game, Baltic Offensive right now. Stahl's Kiev 1941, I think is his best of the things that he's done. His most recent one was limp. It was dull. Fritz's Ostkrieg. If you don't know this one, well, what becomes from Game of Dragons or
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Shame, shame, shame. Need to go out and buy that one. And Christmas is coming, because you're not getting it from me, but you could ask someone in your family. Bellamy's Absolute War. Never had heard of it. While working at the Army Center of Military History, we came across it, read it. In fact, actually, we'd read a chapter and said, well, we're ordering it, and ordered it the same day. Very good. Also another one that doesn't get what it does. And Kershaw's The End of the War, great book, dumb photograph. Dumb cover photograph, because this is moving towards Moscow in 1941. This is an L-50 gun on a PK-3. This is 1941. So whoever in the art department thought this was a compelling picture, and it is a compelling picture, except it ain't 1944 or 45. This is 1941, December. Our month now, but not. So, we'll let you know how it goes. We're really excited by it. I know we say that a lot, but we really are. We like gaming, and I'm lucky to have a wife who enjoys the fact that I game and doesn't fuss at all about it. In fact, I think she would maybe start fussing if I didn't play games, because that would tell her that there was something bothering me. So, all right, folks. Thank you as always. I will take my birth control glasses off now, and that way you can see me in all my glory. Thanks, folks.